Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in. And let's start off with this tweet here from XRP Darren at Fame21 more over on Twitter. Definitely go check him out. But this is from this PDF file, the role of blockchain in banking, feature prospects for cross-border payments from the OMFIF. This is a very interesting document, by the way. If you guys do want to go and look it up, all you have to do is type in the role of blockchain in banking and then have the OMFIF after it. But this is a large amount of discussions around settlements, around DLT, the approach around liquidity as well, the use cases in regards to a regulatory concern around DLT. You have a lot of the use cases being mentioned here. A lot of it is centered on settlement clearing systems, all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, I do want to talk to you guys about this here. So this is the Spotlight Ripple. Rather than compete with large banking companies, Ripple plans to partner with leading financial institutions and provide them with a blockchain solution. Instead of converting dollars into other currencies, which entails exchange rate cost, processing fees, and slow transaction times, one bank can transfer, for example, $5 million worth of XRP to another bank's Ripple portfolio, which can then be converted into local currency. Ripple is seeking to position itself as an alternative to SWIFT. Its software controls the relevant bank's funds and updates each party's accounting books. The settlement process is completed in seconds by consolidating liquidity to service international payments from many disjointed international Nostro accounts into one XRP pool. Respondent banks allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of global payments. The bank only has to hold its domestic currency and maintain one account with XRP with only enough XRP to service its largest expected payment obligation. The process minimizes the number of intermediaries and their markup on spreads. And yes, this is why when we look at things happening around finance, the biggest solution is what Ripple has solved utilizing XRP. In fact, I think that this tweet here from Black Swan Capitalist over on Twitter is also a perfect idea on how we get to mass adoption of XRP. We do see here, global credit markets are drying up. The lack of liquidity means the borrowing and lending becomes difficult. The systemic risk could result in a lockup of the financial system, ICE 9 scenario. As liquidity dries up worldwide, expect the full adoption and utility of XRP's on-demand liquidity. And we do see XRP poised to break new ground as Ripple unveils this new $1 trillion worth on-demand liquidity corridor. The interesting thing about all of this is that when we look at things happening around the world, we know liquidity is causing a big issue right now. Liquidity is at it's almost on the edge. And when we look at what Ripple has solved and where they're positioned, by the way, it's very, very interesting on what the next major move is. One thing I do want to note, though, is where Ripple is positioned. I know a big focus is always SWIFT, because SWIFT does move a ton of money. They have over 11,000 plus financial institutions tied to them. It's 25% of the global financial institutions around the world. They're a big name. Now, I've always said Ripple is really not competing with SWIFT. They don't need to compete with SWIFT. They are already doing very well on their own. And I've always said the biggest thing that could happen with Ripple is SWIFT coming to Ripple and saying, okay, we know your payment processing system is a lot more efficient than anything that we could develop, because Swift GPI is nowhere even close to what Ripple has solved. Let's do a deal where we utilize your payment mechanism, your settlement system, if you will, that utilizes XRP. Let's have it plug and played with our 11,000 plus financial institutions in our payment system, and let's innovate further beyond the means of what we are already utilizing. That would be the biggest and the most bullish case scenario for Ripple. Why? Well, it would have them directly tied into 11,000 plus financial institutions all at once. Remember what I've always said on this channel. You know, you're not going to see Ripple meeting with every single bank and saying, hey, I want you to utilize this. I think that it would be beneficial for you to utilize our system. No, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be thousands on top of thousands of banks utilizing this technology all at once. it would be impossible for them to meet with every single bank by themselves and discuss this, because it would take way too much time. By the end of the day, it just would not be efficient. So having that plug and play aspect through a name like Swift, where you are already directly tied into 11,000 plus financial institutions, would be the biggest use case possibility. Now, why do I think that this could happen? Well, you look at the efficiency behind Ripple and XRP in terms of settlement cost. They could cut banks' global settlement cost up to 60%. This would be a huge, huge, efficient technological advancement within the banking sector that we've seen in, I would argue, the history of the banking sector. And by the way, this is also why Ripple with XRP has been being adopted at a very, very fast pace. And there's also a report on this. I don't know if this is still live. Yeah, so this is not live anymore. We've broken down the cost-cutting case for banks around Ripple with XRP in the past, but this is an older article. This is from 2016. I think this article was from like 2015, I want to say, but the ROI was pretty substantial. It was 33% just utilizing Ripple instead of just like utilizing Ripple with XRP. If you do tie XRP in, then yes, you could save up to 60% in costs associated with global interbank settlements, which would be extremely large for these major banks and these financial institutions, which is also why we are seeing a lot of adoption of Ripple with XRP. And we do see the process requires respondent banks to outlay liquidity in nostro accounts with correspondent banks. This is the biggest problem with our current financial system. And also you have the other inefficiencies. You have the point of delay, failure, and even cost. So all of this tied to one, it's a big issue. Now, there used to be a diagram here. They got rid of the diagram. I don't know why. It's probably because it is an older article, so it hasn't been updated fully. But you do have a few discussions down here around XRP. So instead of holding local currency nostro accounts around the world, this goes back to this tweet over here, where we are seeing like nostro accounts being mentioned. Around the world, banks or third-party market makers on their behalf can consolidate their liquidity for global payments into one XRP account, held on their own balance sheets. The singular XRP pool then allows respondent banks to allocate less total liquidity to service the same volume of international payments in 3 ways. They only have to hold domestic currency and maintain one account with XRP versus many expensive nostro accounts around the world. They only need enough XRP on hand to service their largest expected payment obligations, freeing previously trapped liquidity idling in nostro accounts around the world. XRP allows banks to access liquidity on demand. Now, this is probably one of the biggest areas to focus on right now, because as we know, with everything that has been happening recently with our financial system, we know liquidity is tight. We know liquidity has been diminishing greatly. We know that most of these major central banks are getting to the point of almost being illiquid. So as we look at liquidity, liquidity is a big issue right now. A lot of people expect us to have a liquidity crisis at some point in time globally, which if that is the case, then XRP could very well be the savior to these markets. And we do see down here, by making markets directly between their domestic currencies and XRP, banks minimize the number of intermediaries involved and their markup on spreads, which this again is the breakdown from over here. This is like the same exact quote. Now, with this, we do see, as a result, respondent banks that use Ripple with XRP as a bridge currency can save up to 42% on cost today and up to 60% as XRP gains usage and volatility decreases. To accelerate market thickness and reduce volatility for XRP, Ripple will soon introduce an XRP incentive program to algorithmically rebate market makers who provide liquidity through XRP. And then down here we have the international payment infrastructure cost, and they do also mention the global average cost. There used to be a diagram here, like I said, but since then it has gotten deleted. But nonetheless, what I do want to make the case around this for is the fact that as we continue to see the current monetary system have these inefficiencies that plague these systems, that plague these banks, these financial institutions, at some point in time, I believe that Ripple with XRP will be massively adopted within the institutional grade sector around banking and finance. It just makes sense. There's nothing out there more efficient than what Ripple has solved with XRP. A lot of people question the true value behind XRP. I don't even look at it as a value opportunity. I look at it as a technological opportunity. The technological advancement that Ripple has made utilizing XRP as a liquidity source through on-demand liquidity, as well as even through like what RippleNet has officially done for a lot of these major institutions that already are working with Ripple, it's you can't put a value on that. Now, one thing that I will love to note is their choice awards as utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. That's their end goal. That's their goal even with CBDCs. They want to position XRP as a bridge currency with CBDCs. Now, with that in mind, where are we currently at with that? Well, we know CBDCs are starting to kind of break out a little bit. We looked at the idea of like not having CBDCs, having commercial grade stablecoins. That's also a big thing. Government-backed stablecoins are also a big thing. We actually already see that coming to the XRP ledger. But this thread by Kevin Cage. By the way, shout out to Kevin Cage over on Twitter. Shout out to Kevin Cage over on YouTube. Same goes for XRP Darren. Definitely shout out XRP Darren on YouTube as well. Incredible content from the both individuals. If you guys don't already check them out, you probably do. But if you don't already, I highly suggest go checking them out. But this thread, I read it and I was like, okay, yeah, this is probably a thread that anyone in the XRP community or even outside of the XRP community needs to see, because this is what real utility looks like. So RippleNet. RippleNet is present in more than 40 settlement markets, around 90% of all settlement gateways in the world. Republic applies to help explore a potential government-backed stablecoin on the public XRP ledger. Bank of America is waiting for the conclusion of the SEC case to start utilizing on-demand liquidity. Stasis, the issuer of the largest euro-backed stablecoin, has completed XRP ledger integration for its flagship Eurus stablecoin. Proper Home will leverage the XRP ledger to create and distribute NFTs that will represent property ownership. Estimated $156 trillion worth of cross-border payment flows in 2022 alone. On average, the fee for consumers to send money across borders is 7%. XRP can help. Added advanced machine learning capabilities to our on-demand liquidity solution to further refine our customer experience. Supermojo is the latest company to utilize Ripple's liquidity hub. MFS Africa, a leading fintech with the largest mobile money footprint in Africa, has partnered with Ripple to streamline real-time mobile payments for their customers across 35 countries. MFS Africa, 400 million mobile wallets and upwards of 800 payment corridors. Africa boasts a $2.7 trillion market opportunity, the largest driver of business growth worldwide, and innovative digital payment rails can make this a reality. Mobile money users in Africa worldwide is expected to reach 70% of the global population. Just a quick summary of some recent November news and developments for the XRP ledger, as well as XRP, and also RippleNet. And yes, all of this is happening right now. It has happened in the last couple months. I could not be more bullish on XRP because of what Ripple's goal is for XRP. And again, since this article, going back to 2016, okay, this was 6 years ago, the growth rate of XRP and the expansion of RippleNet and Ripple's goals has not slowed down. In fact, their vision is coming to life before our eyes. And I want everyone out there that is holding XRP, trust me, I understand. Price of XRP still under $1. Price of XRP not hit an all-time high since 2017, 2018. I understand. I get it. But I want you all to also focus on this. This is the biggest focus point. And I want you all to comment down below what you think of this. If you have any doubts on XRP, go back to the initial statements of the SEC when they brought on their lawsuit. Look at the time frame that they brought on the lawsuit. At the perfect time to disrupt the value of XRP. They wanted retail to look at the performance of XRP versus the rest of the market and say, all right, XRP is a waste of time. I'm not investing into XRP. Understand the value proposition behind the scenes with Ripple. Look at the value proposition that Ripple is solving with XRP. A good point of view is this here. This small little breakdown of what Ripple is doing should give you everything that you need to know on why Ripple with XRP was fully targeted by the SEC, which, by the way, the SEC is trying to protect the banks. Not you, not me. They do not care about retail. They are trying to protect the banks. Now, let's put into mind what Ripple is doing with XRP. They are cutting out intermediaries. They are minimizing the backing of the monetary system on intermediaries, cutting out massive amounts of value opportunity for these major individuals to eat up. They're cutting out that value and providing a much cheaper service. Now, let me ask you this. Do you honestly think that going after this monster of a market, the financial system, and disrupting it fully, and disrupting the food chain that these major banks and these major intermediaries are eating up on these spreads, do you honestly think that it's going to be an easy fight for Ripple? Absolutely not. This is why I say don't focus on the time frame that the SEC lawsuit has been going on for. Don't focus on the price of XRP and the performance of XRP, but focus on the motive behind the lawsuit. Focus on the motive behind these major banks like JP Morgan, for example, talking down on what Ripple has been solving for so long. They are trying to create similar processes and mechanisms like what Ripple has solved because of how innovative the technology solution they have created is. This is what you should be focusing on. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.